Hey, this is Relax Radio with me, Nick, giving you company on Real Talk all the way until 6 p.m. And yeah, we were talking about a lot of these things that is happening in the UK. And one of this is COVID tests clearly prioritized for England. This is what the Public Health Wales boss has claimed in an email. Yeah, in case you guys are wondering what this is all about. Well, before we get into that, though, here's a little clip of what we are at Relax Radio, what our whole concept and belief is at Relax Radio. So check this video out. That's right. You can always feel free, to hit us up on those numbers if you're feeling a little chatty and you want to talk about what is going on right now in the UK with this whole coronavirus situation, India's surge, the surge in India as well, the red listing, and all of these things, the lobbying, or anything at all for that matter. You can always feel free to hit me up on those numbers. It is 07852-473-473. Those are the numbers. You can always WhatsApp me or call me up. And also don't forget, you can follow us on our website, which is www.relaxradio.net. And also don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter. We go on Instagram. Also, we're big on Instagram and Facebook as well. And also don't forget, you can download our app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to carry us all day, every day, 365, 24/7. And yeah, getting back to the topic at hand, though, what is going on? So yeah, there's been the UK government has clearly prioritized COVID tests for England in March last year. A Welsh health boss claimed in an email obtained so recently. And yeah, they're talking about this. And Tracy Cooper of Public Health Wales said supplier Roche had been asked to reserve tests for use in England. So yeah, the Welsh government had said it had a deal with Roche to provide 5,000 tests a day in March 2020, which collapsed, but the firm denied making such an agreement, and the UK government denies tests were unfairly allocated. So that's just, it's, if the government is actually doing something, it is also kind of, disappointing if they are doing something like this. We got to give it equally to all the states. That's just how it's supposed to be. So back in March last year, right, there was the Welsh government had a recent deal with, at that time, with a supplier to provide an extra 5,000 coronavirus tests a day, had all completely but collapsed. So yeah, the Welsh government had said it was disappointing that a company later identified as the Swiss firm Roche was not able to honor a written agreement. So Roche, however, said later it had never had a contract or agreement directly with Wales to supply coronavirus testing. So yeah, Wales then received tests as part of a UK-wide rollout. So yeah, Health Minister Vaughan Getting had initially announced on 21st of March the Welsh government would have access to at least 6,000 tests a day by April 1st and 8,000 tests a day within a week. But those targets were revised in light of the Roche agreement. So yeah, announcement there's recently, where they said, okay, we are not, they're not able to come up with the kind of the quota that they initially promised the Welsh government. And although they say they've never really come into a contract or a deal, why would it resurface Why would it surface even right now? So the target, before the target of 9,000 this whole 9,000 tests a day by the end of April was completely scrapped off. So yeah, in May, Public Health Chief Wales Executive Tracy Cooper said that the PHW had been in discussion with Roche to secure the 5,000 tests a day for Wales, but suggested that details that these tests, did not come after the UK government stepped in. So yeah, in June, Welsh Minister refused to publish correspondence with Roche over the alleged collapse deal because doing so would be likely to prejudice relationships with the UK government. But in an email Okay, this is where everything gets interesting. So the 22nd of March 2020 obtained through further freedom of information requests. Dr. Cooper tells Wales senior health official that PHW had been in discussion with Roche since the 2nd of March 2020. So that was since last year. They've been in communications, they've been in correspondence, and we're talking about all of these things. I mean, if you really look at it from this perspective, you know what they're doing right now. I mean, they say, hey, yo, we've never really did something like this. We've never been in correspondence with any kind of company or with the Welsh government. But then there has been emails as well, from the from Dr. Cooper telling, hey, this is what is actually happened. We had been having these discussions since last year, the 2nd of March. So yeah, in this whole email, there Dr. Cooper states that the discussions had progressed, but the team had found it hard to pin Roche down to a written agreement. So that's just something right there. And she also adds that PHW understood Roche had been called into a meeting with the UK government, and that they understood they were instructed, to reserve all additional tests they had to be used in England, and after that, by agreement with the devolved administration. So yeah, this is just something that they are claiming. So writing to the Welsh senior officials, Dr. Cooper stated that after a four-nation call, PHE intercepted a Welsh order of 5,000 tests from Roche on the 22nd of March 2020 and instructed companies that all testing should go to the UK government departments for distribution. So it just goes to show, what is going on right now. And yeah, Dr. Cooper, claimed that the political context in England meant the UK government's Department of Health and Social Care was being given clear instructions to allocate what now transpires to be only 5,000 Roche COVID-19 tests for the whole of UK. And she claims that the UK government clearly prioritized the use of a company's testing for the purposes of England's allocation. So in response to all of these emails that was being laid, the Plaid Cymru leader Adam Price said Wales's effort against COVID had been deliberately undermined by the UK government during the crucial first months of the pandemic. And now they're trying to point fingers and they're saying, okay, all of this was undermined during the first few months when the pandemic hit us. So the Welsh has been asked, there's been a lot of these things going on when it comes to this. And it just clearly, it's clear to see that there is a lot of, disputes amongst the nations as well inside the UK, especially when it comes to all of this corona testing issues and all of that and whatnot. Because, this is just crazy. So recently, right? Okay, the recent report showed that there was no more further COVID-related deaths in the last 24 hours for the fourth time in the last 8 days in Wales. So yeah, Wales have not had a case of somebody dying. Mortality rate has reduced after this whole, because of mostly got to do with the rollout of the vaccine. When you so the Public Health Wales confirmed 35 new cases on Wednesday and no deaths so far. So yeah, that's right. And Wales is now averaging about 50 COVID cases a week compared to about 3,500 over the same period back in December. So back in December, there was that many cases. There were like 3,500 cases, but now it's reduced significantly, marginally to just 50 cases rather a week. So that is a significant improvement, if you ever ask me, because that is just crazy stuff right there. Like, it just goes to show, end of the day, that vaccine and, with the strict lockdown and situation that has happened, this is all part of the whole, it breaks the chain between the transmissibility of the virus and the number of cases rising as well. So yeah, this is just another more reason why you should be even getting the vaccine. It just goes to show this is why it's very important right now, especially now of all times. You need the vaccine, and this is something that we can do to help prevent the number of cases and reduce the number of cases in the country and make sure, that we get back to normalcy. Because this is, end of the day, this is the whole point. We want to get back to normal. We want to be able to live, to live a life without masks or sanitation, like hygiene and all of that. It's not quite feasible at the moment because, yeah, it'll take some time. The virus is here to stay. There's been, although you can say the virus will, we can clear the virus away. No, the virus is something that has been here almost for 2 years. All we got to do is we got to adapt now. And the best way to adapt is to get the vaccine and make sure, you follow all of those precautionary steps and all of those stuff that, the government has outlaid for all of us. So we can prevent and make sure that we come out of this okay. But this is just one of the reasons why we should be following up on these things. And anyways, though, it is about that time of the day for me to head on out of here. But don't worry, I'll catch you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place, same frequency. I said it all. I said enough. I said more. My name is Nick, and I'm out of here. Take care. Peace and much love.